Let's talk next about unlocking the power of data and AI. And under that AI umbrella, we'll have to be a little bit definitive again, right? Because AI is such a term that gets bandied about nowadays. And in fact, I was at a conference last week, and there were many startups giving a 1 minute pitch across the
Sure.
room.
I think I
And
know
I
that
did start to
conference.
count the number of times in 1 minute that they used the word AI. I think on the low end it was once, and on the high end it was seven
In a minute. Wow.
in 1 minute. And I think it's important for us to understand what is going to be embraced, what's practical, what's usable, what the good use cases are today. And
Hmm.
let's even talk about how it can support some of the capabilities within insurance that are getting unlocked. So let's start very high level first. Where are you seeing some of the better use cases? And if you want to,
Yeah.
you're welcome to also give your definition, right, of where what AI is doing and how it's helping us in a practical sense in the insurance world.
Yeah. No, that's a great question. So, I think like a lot of insurance companies, True Stage is fairly early in their journey with AI. You know, insurance companies, I think, in my opinion, tend to move a bit slower on tech adoption. Maybe it's a legacy thing, maybe it's just because we're in the risk business, but whatever the case is, see a lot of the fast movers in that insure tech startup space, as you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
So when True Stage is looking at a couple of different tiers, one is on the marketing side where I'm leading strategy there, but we're thinking about, are there processes that we can speed up that require a person to do now? We haven't really embraced or leaned into um, fully customizable creative based on the person. I think that's, a capability that we might want to unlock someday down the road. Customer service, that's another area. Are there things that an AI agent can do on the front end or a chatbot can do? On the analytics side, like you said, AI has been at the table with machine learning for a couple of decades now, really. I remember
Really?
hearing about AML or something back at my days at the General, and that was the late aughts. So it was around back then, right? So to me, like the conversations that I've had with some of my colleagues in the industry are focused around a couple things. On the claims side, there's a lot of potential for using AI to facilitate claims processing, make more accurate decisions. They're now using image analyzation, right? So they can upload a bunch of images. Someone has a claim, they send it in. You may not need a physical adjuster to go out there anymore. They can
Wow.
look at it, and depending on the severity of the claim, it speeds up the claims process. And all of us in the insurance industry, particularly on auto, know that that cycle time is really important. The longer a claim sits out there, the more time the insured has to think about how much their back hurts or how frustrated they are going to be. Like, why isn't my car being fixed? Right. So
And
it
actually,
tends,
more time for the legal ads to make their way,
that's
right?
right. That's
Listen.
right. It's more time to get representation. So cycle time has always been that critical measure of how healthy your claims org is. So I see that happening. I know there's a company up the street from me that I may have worked for before that is working in this way as well. Customer service, right? I mentioned chatbots. I mentioned virtual assistants. Like they are one carrier that I partner with on a regular basis. They're using these things to handle regular policy inbound inquiries, right? If you're calling about was my payment received, right? What status is my claim? Like they're doing a lot of this using agentic AI to handle the bulk of the front end because there's probably 60% of inbound calls are really, really routine. So can you save time doing that? Um, cool story on the sales side. One carrier, and I can share this name because they've put this on their website. They're called Embrace Pet Insurance, and actually, pretty cool company, Cleveland-based. Were founded by folks I know that went to Progressive, worked at Progressive, but they're using AI agents to follow up on unsold leads, and so they're literally having they partnered with a vendor who these AI agents will call out and say, "Hey, Jennifer, I know you got a quote with us a couple of days ago. Are you still interested in buying this? Would you like to speak to someone?" And like 7% of folks that the agent reaches are saying yes. They get connected, and the customer satisfaction of that experience is around 96%. And so, yeah, great example
Terrific.
there,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? On the marketing side, we've talked about the ultimate use case, which is creating hyper personalization of offers. I remember the movie Minority Report where Tom Cruise is walking in and they're you're getting these hyper focused advertisements. But I think it truly, the more relevant you are to your consumer, whether it's an email, whether it's a display ad, whether it's search page results, and then that's a really critical component of it. And obviously, AI is changing search itself. We're calling that what the zero-click search now, where AI is aggregating the different answers to your questions by pulling a bunch of websites, and we're seeing that impact how we treat SEO pretty significantly. So there's a lot of different ways AI is going to influence insurance from a marketing perspective. I still think and then really all these perspectives, it's all about the data you feed into it. So you got to have your data structure intact. You got to think foundationally, what is it I want to do? So I think there's enough tools out there now to enable so many different use cases, whether it's an analytics use case or a processing use case or a generative use case. But if you don't have the right data to feed the AI platforms, it's just not going to work, right? So that's more than anything, I'd say, is your data in a place that's actionable? Can you think about the use cases you'd want, and then is the data there to enable it? So to me, that's kind of the foundation of all this. You got to have the right data structure in place, and we've always talked about first party data being so important. I mean, it in this world, it really, really is. So I don't know, I'm excited for it. I'm a little scared by AI sometimes too.
Who isn't though?
Right? What's it gonna decide for me?
I
But
still put please in most of my query, my
in your
prompts,
query, right? Yeah, you don't
just
want to
just
get
to
mad.
stay on the good side. But
Listen,